my top 10 for Division I women's volleyball goes as follows, and it's the last one until the tournaments start. First of all, Wisconsin is number 1 for me. Texas moves up to number 2, though you can make an argument for 1. San Diego's 3 for me. Louisville 4, Nebraska 5, Pitt 6, Stanford 7, Minnesota 8, Ohio State 9, Oregon number 10. No, you could make a debate about Penn State there. Number 12 had to be Florida, and they won once, but they lost once. So they had to drop. Georgia Tech, if I extended it, would be 13. Kentucky 14 because I went over Florida. Marquette deserved to be ahead of Baylor because they beat a ranked team and Baylor didn't. But I will also say Creighton's behind Baylor at number 17. Some top 25 matchups include number 18 BYU versus number 2 San Diego, number 7 Pitt versus number 13 Georgia Tech, number 5 Nebraska versus number 3 Wisconsin, number 8 Ohio State versus number 9 Minnesota, number 25 Washington State versus number 24 Washington, number 23 UCF versus number 22 Houston, number 11 Penn State versus number 19 Purdue, number 8 Ohio State versus number 3 Wisconsin, number 5 Nebraska versus number 9 Minnesota. Now the new poll came out, and it goes as follows: Texas 1, San Diego 2, Wisconsin 3, Louisville 4, Nebraska 5, Stanford 6, Pitt 7, Ohio State 8, Minnesota 9, Oregon 10. 11 is Penn State, 12 is Florida, Georgia Tech 13, Marquette 14, Creighton 15, Kentucky 16, 17 Baylor, BYU 18, Purdue 19, Rice 20, Western Kentucky 21, Houston 22, UCF 23, Washington 24, Washington State number 25, and the RPI, which this is the last time until the selection show is on Sunday, and it is Texas at 1, Louisville 2, Stanford 3, Pitt 4, Wisconsin 5, Ohio State 6, Nebraska 7, Kentucky 8, San Diego 9, Oregon at number 10. Now, granted, teams on the outside looking in are like Florida, Marquette, Minnesota, Rice, Baylor, Creighton. They do value the RPI in the NCAA tournament, not just those rankings. Now, 40 through 65 is kind of what I consider you're kind of on the bubble. Loyola Marymount, California, number 40. Then TCU is up to number 41. LSU 42, Pepperdine 43, Texas State 44, Georgia 45, Colorado State, University of Northern Iowa, South Dakota, Michigan, Wright State, Utah, Bowling Green, High Point, Kennesaw State, Ball State, SFA, SMU, UTGRV, Mississippi State, Jacksonville State, UCLA, Colgate, Northwestern, Lipscomb. And then name some other teams is like Illinois, North Carolina, and Drake, and Utah State, as well as probably that's enough on Utah State because Texas A&M is 13 and 16 overall. They're not going to get in. Now, my advice for this week for those bubble teams: win all the matches you can, especially over ranked opponents. And for all those teams that want to be higher up in the RPI, you got to win all the matches you can. And granted, this is your last week to do it. And if you're in a conference tournament, you got to win it. But if you're not, you got to just win all your matches you can. So that's explaining the RPI right there. And we'll see what happens with the selection. Because I think there's going to be some seedings that makes a lot of sense, and host sites that make a lot of sense, while others, I don't know. Anyways, I just want to go over that. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get me to 400 subscribers or more by the end of this year or sometime in the future.